Sometimes the most horrifying stories begin in the most ordinary homes. A smiling family, 2 little girls, and a baby on the way. A husband and wife posting pictures online, showing the world a picture of love, peace and perfection, but behind those smiles, something darker was brewing. Something that would soon explode into one of the most chilling family tragedies in modern America. This is the story of Chris Watts, the man who destroyed everything he ever called his own. Frederick, Colorado, a quiet, family-friendly neighborhood, where the loudest sound is often just a lawnmower or a barking dog. Here lived the Watts family. Chris, the calm and reserved husband, worked as an operator for Anadarko Petroleum, a well-paying and respected job. His wife, Shanann, was full of life, a confident, talkative woman working in health and wellness sales. Together, they had built what looked like the dream, a beautiful 2-story house, 2 adorable daughters, Bella, age 4, and Celeste, age 3, and a baby boy on the way, whom they had already named Nico. On social media, Shanann constantly shared joyful videos, Chris dancing with the girls, Bella singing, the family smiling. From the outside, everything seemed perfect, but sometimes perfection hides pain. Behind those smiles, their marriage was slipping away. Financial stress had started building up. Mortgage payments were overdue, credit card debts rising, and emotionally, Chris was drifting further away. In early 2018, he met Nicole Kessinger, a co-worker at his company. She was attractive, independent and exciting, and soon they began an affair. Nicole thought he was separated and preparing for divorce, but Chris was still living at home with his wife and daughters. He led 2 lives, one as a loving husband and father, another as a man in a secret relationship, and he was getting deeper into the lie with each passing day. That summer, the family took a trip to North Carolina to visit relatives. During the trip, tensions grew. Shanann argued with Chris's parents over the children's allergies, and Chris appeared distant. Shanann texted him, saying she felt like she was losing him. When they returned home, she noticed he was cold, emotionless. He barely touched her, barely spoke to her. She tried to fix things, texting him heartfelt messages, begging for communication, for love. But Chris had already made up his mind. By August, he was spending more time with Nicole. He told her he wanted to start fresh, a new life, without Shanann, without the children, and soon he would act on that dark desire. On August 12th, Shanann returned from a business trip to Arizona. Her flight was delayed when she got home around 1:48 a.m. A friend named Nicole Atkinson dropped her off and watched her walk into the house. That was the last time anyone saw Shanann alive. Inside, the lights were off. Chris was awake. He later claimed she confronted him about the affair. He said she cried, shouted, and told him she knew everything. Then he told her the words no pregnant wife ever expects to hear: "I don't love you anymore." In a sudden burst of rage, Chris straddled her on the bed and strangled her. She was 15 weeks pregnant. Their unborn son, Nico, died with her. Then came the most horrifying part of all. Bella and Celeste woke up. Their mother was gone. Their father told them everything would be okay and drove them, still in their pajamas, in the back of his work truck to an oil field owned by his company. Imagine that drive, 2 small girls sitting in the back, holding each other, not knowing what's about to happen. At the sight, Chris smothered them both, first Celeste, then Bella. Bella's final words, according to Chris's later confession, were "Daddy, no." After that, he stuffed their tiny bodies into separate oil tanks and buried Shanann's body in a shallow grave nearby. Later that day, Chris went back home. He texted Shanann's phone as if she were still alive, pretending she had just disappeared. He even called her friends, asking if they had seen her. But one friend, Nicole Atkinson, grew suspicious. Shanann never missed appointments, and she wasn't answering calls. Nicole called the police and asked for a welfare check. When officers arrived, they noticed something was wrong. Shanann's car was in the garage, her purse, phone, and keys were still in the house. There was no sign of struggle, but also no sign of Shanann or the girls. Chris appeared calm, too calm. He spoke softly, explaining that maybe Shanann had gone to a friend's house, but something about him didn't feel right. The next day, Chris stood on his front porch in front of local news cameras, pleading for his family's return. Shanann, Bella, Celeste, if you're out there, please come home. This house isn't the same without you. His voice cracked, his hands folded, his expression carefully calm. He played the part of the worried husband, but his eyes betrayed him. Behind that mask was guilt and horror, and the world was about to see it. Within 48 hours, investigators noticed inconsistencies in his story. He said he didn't know where Shanann went, yet security cameras showed no one leaving the house after she entered that night. They brought him in for questioning. Chris agreed to take a polygraph test. He failed miserably. When confronted, he broke down. At first, he claimed Shanann had killed the girls, and in a fit of rage, he killed her. But detectives knew the truth ran deeper. Finally, he confessed. He admitted to killing Shanann and the children, and to hiding their bodies at the oil site. His voice, when describing it, was disturbingly calm, almost emotionless. On August 16, 2018, just 3 days after the murders, police recovered Shanann's body from a shallow grave and the bodies of the 2 little girls from the oil tanks. The entire nation was horrified. Neighbors who once called Chris a loving father were stunned. Friends of Shanann broke down in disbelief. How could the man she loved so deeply turn into her killer? Even Chris's own family struggled to understand. His mistress, Nicole Kessinger, told police she had no idea he was capable of such horror. The picture-perfect family of Frederick, Colorado, had become a nightmare headline across the world. In November 2018, Chris Watts pleaded guilty to all charges, avoiding the death penalty, but sentenced to 5 life sentences without parole. Yet even today people ask why? Why did he do it? Was it passion, desperation, or pure evil? In part 1 of this story, we've seen how the Watts family's world collapsed, from love to lies, from family to murder. Chris Watts, a man who seemed quiet and gentle, carried out one of the most senseless acts imaginable, killing his wife, his daughters, and his unborn son. And what makes this story so haunting isn't just the brutality, it's the deception, the fact that no one saw it coming, that a smiling photo could hide a monster behind the camera. In part 2, we'll explore what happened next, the investigations, the psychological profile of Chris Watts, his confession, and how his dark truth finally came to light. Until then, remember, not every happy home is as it seems, and sometimes the darkest secrets are hidden right behind a perfect smile. Thank you for watching this episode. If you found this story gripping, subscribe for part 2, where we uncover what truly went on inside the mind of Chris Watts. Stay safe, stay aware, and never forget, evil often hides in plain sight.